Interesting conversations in Scotland recently. Short time here, but very cool indeed in the Scottish countryside. One of my friends in Edinburgh, she said, you're ahead of schedule. You've got 2 days or so. What are you gonna do? You'll be bored out of your mind in the countryside there. Christ, you'll need to go out. You'll need to do stuff. And I said, well, what makes you think I can't do stuff here? And what I find is that people with more space, living space, they can have that space set up so they can just not go out at all. In fact, when they go out, they're disappointed because it's just not as good as their own space that they've set up. So I said to this girl, what? I mean, what am I gonna? Why go out? And she said, well, you'll never meet people. What? What? You mean there's no people in the countryside? Okay, the density is a lot lower, but really, you meet people. You've got around this area. There's tens of acres, if well, it's hundreds of acres to walk around. And what I find is the people that have got the least space, which is the average person in the UK compared to other countries. I mean, the houses here are tiny. People are living day to day, going to shops directly outside their house to get their food. People in the Scottish countryside are not like that at all. They would rather stay on the farm or stay on the land that they have, like a small holding, we call them here. And their friends that will phone them up and they'll say, "Oh, you coming for a coffee? Do you want to go to the city? Do you want to go to the town?" And they're like, "Not really, no." And some of their friends, particularly the city people or the town people, they're in disbelief because they can't understand how it is actually to have the space and to set that space up perfectly so that realistically when you go out it's literally a disappointment. It's literally a disappointment any time that you go out. You can set it up with the best food you want, the best cooker you want, anything. The if you're creative, then you have room to explore your creative life. And creative people need that in their life. If they're not able to be creative, they become very, very unhappy indeed, uh, sometimes to the point where they get depressed. It's very bad for their personality type. So that's another bias. These people that I'm talking to in the Scottish countryside, a lot of them are creative because they are highly open people like me. I can't get this kind of information out of closed people or people low in trait openness because I just don't have the time here. I'm never here. So to get this kind of information, these conclusions that I'm drawing now are based on people that are highly creative, people that are highly open. So that is a bias there. Anyway, I mean, these goddamn people in the cities, they're like, oh, why won't you ever come out? I mean, some of these people here in the countryside are saying some of their friends get really pissed off because they won't leave. And interestingly, the extroverted people in the countryside, they still won't leave to get contact with people. They would rather the people come to them. I mean, I know a guy in Dumfries and Galloway with over 1,000 acres, more than 1,000 acres of land on the hills there. And, we're talking like huge barbecues with 50, 100 people. Um, I'm trying to remember back years ago. Bloody gazebos, tents, uh, overnight camping, part of contributing to the town or the village's fate. Even here, years and years ago, like talking 20 odd years ago, small town fate. One of the farmers, the field, huge field full of people. These extroverted people would rather bring people to them than go to the city, spend money in Costa, spend money in Starbucks. These people in the countryside are actually growing their own food. They're making their own food. And they're loving it. It's hard work, but it's a different kind of hard work. It's a nourishing kind of hard work. So, very interesting. I do believe that if people have enough living space, then really there's not many people actually have to leave that space for too long at all, and the people that do are unstable. They it's the only way that I can think about it. Or they've made huge compromises on their living space because of other people, and that's another thing. A lot of my friends, they have family or whatever, and part of the reason why they won't leave that space for very long, or they're inclined just to stay and not even go for a coffee with people, is because of the people that they've cultivated in that space as well. And I'm not like that at all, so I have to take that on board. So I'm saying this because I believe that this is a relatively balanced argument in that sense. So it's very interesting, but yeah, if you do have enough space, you can set that up so really everything else is a disappointment, and then a lot of these city people will think that people get stuck out there, but it's not being stuck. It's not being stuck. It looks like it's being stuck to them, but really it's living the best life, and it allows these people in the country side to really be the best person that they can be every day, which is something that most people do in work, but not necessarily in life. And as I get older, I'm coming to realize that, you know, you can be the best person that you can be, the most efficient or whatever in work, but where's the life? You know, it gets to the point where it's just so grinding and so disconcerting that the people that you work with won't really care apart from the figures, and that's part of their work ethic. You know, these people that you meet in work, particularly in my line of work with contracting and things like that, they don't really care. They care about work stuff. You know, whereas in the countryside, work and life go together. You know, it's not work is life, it's work and life. It's the perfect happy medium as far as I can see, and setting stuff up how you want it. And I've been in that position several times in my life, luckily. Very lucky to have been in that position. Had certain assignments where I could afford to do that with the space that I had and the time that I had. So I kind of appreciate that. And it's just so cool, but so sad that, you know, people in work don't realize that a lot of these work friends or people that you think you know, they won't be there for tens of years, you know, not in this environment. Statistically, this gig economy that we have, jumping from job to job, no careers anymore, just jobs, they won't really be there. So it's down to you to build maybe a network, or even build your living environment. I mean, that's the first place to start. That's where I'm going to start eventually. I'm going to have to build a space that I'm happy with from scratch, and I can improve on that space and blah blah blah. So very cool, very cool. Not a good conclusive ending. But I kind of like anticlimaxes